I'm here to talk to you today about a project called Phuncoin. The Phuncoin project is really about rewarding you for being you. What's great about that is when you think about your identity, your personal data, your information, on a worldwide basis, we've completely lost control of all of it. Facebook and Google and others have really figured out how to use our personal data and information, everything about our identity, institutionalize it in their networks and in their applications, and fundamentally kept all the financial benefit for themselves at the expense of each of us. And what Phunware and Phuncoin is about changing that again, allowing you to regain control of yourself, all your personal data and information, and receive a cryptocurrency called Phuncoin in exchange for you voluntarily participating in giving your information to corporations so that there's a mutual exchange of value that's helpful to both parties. It's important when talking about Phuncoin, the project, as Scott was just talking, to also consider Phunware, the company. We added cryptocurrency, blockchain, and smart contracts to our business as a new line of business, not necessarily as a standalone, start-from-scratch cryptocurrency project. When we looked at the importance of how to think about building really large companies that change the world, the core vision of Phunware was to create a Phunware ID for every human being on the planet that had a device, touching a network, using their favorite applications that happen to have Phunware software inside of them. And when you think about where the world's biggest companies come from, you have to win an era of computing. Way back in the 80s, winning the PC era of computing created companies like Microsoft and Apple. In the 90s, that was the client-server era of computing, which created Oracle. When you fast forward into the internet era, we saw Google, social networking, then we saw Facebook. When we created Phunware, which really means applications that exhibit game-like mechanics and behavior, we wanted to figure out how to reach every human being on the planet, indoors and outdoors, on a one-to-one basis, so that you could have the perfect interaction between the brands that you care about and yourself. So when we talk about real companies, we like to think we fit that bill. We think in the next 12 to 18 months, every big company and every interesting cryptocurrency project is overwhelmingly out of the United States going to look like us. So we're almost 10 years old as a company. We'll be 10 years old in February. We've already raised $100 million of traditional equity from some of the greatest investors, which we'll get into. We actually have a profitable, debt-free company, and we're the first company in history to have simultaneously a pending registration statement to start trading on the NASDAQ, PHUN would be the ticker symbol, overlaid with the first ever fully regulated security token that has the blessing of the Securities and Exchange Commission and can invite all US accredited investors and Wall Street to participate. So we have several hundred employees. We're based in Austin, Texas, with offices throughout the US, and we're in round 3 with the Securities and Exchange Commission, down to about 23 questions, of which half of them are about cryptocurrency and the disclosures and the risk factors and what happens if a blockchain forks? What happens if the ecosystem does not do what you expect? And a million other really interesting things that come out of that. On teams, teams are everything. I'm blessed with 5 former CEOs on the Phunware staff. All of us have done our graduate work at some of the greatest institutions, Georgia Tech, Stanford, UC Berkeley, and so on. And we've all been very blessed and fortunate to have multiple successes. I was a first-time CEO when I was 29. I'm 49 now, so I've got a lot of dog years of startup experience. And we've been fortunate to build and sell large-scale companies to Cisco Systems, to Level 3 Communications, to IBM. But Phunware, I want to be one of those foundational companies of our time and get to the public markets. So we surrounded ourselves with folks that have all built and sold companies, operated at scale, and it's really made my life as a CEO exponentially better. In terms of when you were hearing prior talkers going through and saying, how do you tell if something is good? How do you know what good looks like if you're going to risk your hard-earned capital to back token sales and projects or companies? And what we wanted to do is to take the best of the best at every level. We have 3 sets of lawyers, but we use Goodwin for all the cryptocurrency law, Wilson Sonsini Goodrich and Rosati out of Palo Alto, tied to all the traditional law. We went out and got all fully audited financials. You see a lot of controversy in cryptocurrency about using financials, having audits, verifying assets or identities. And what we wanted to do is say, we'll get Ernst & Young, one of the big 4 accountants, and when we posted all of the financials into our Telegram channel the first time, people were shocked. Like, what are these? And we're like, well, those are financials, of course. And what we wanted to do is to have full open transparency so that it was easy to see who we were, how we operated. What we also wanted to do is we wanted to be active in Asia. So we went out and we got PLDT out of the Philippines, we got Samsung out of Korea, we got Khazanah, which is the Malaysian Sovereign Wealth Fund, and a number of other individuals and venture funds in Taipei and elsewhere, and we took them on this journey with us. We overlaid that by trying to get the best cryptocurrency investors in the world. I've had the blessing of being a Draper portfolio company with Tim Draper and their team for the last 8 years. We've worked with Block Tower, which is tied to Union Square and Andreessen Horowitz, and we have the great team at DNA and many others on the crypto side. What we wanted to then do is to take all of these folks and marry them with our distribution to take crypto to the mainstream. For crypto to be amazing, we need great user experiences, like the consumer applications on your phone. If my kids don't like them, they delete them. If you don't like an application on iOS and Android, you delete it. That's fatal to brands. And when you need to standardize all of your mobile activities as a large-scale company around the world, you need to make sure that you have bulletproof software. When we talk about blockchain, and Scott mentioned Netflix, we're in the DVD era of blockchain waiting for streaming to happen. Today, Phunware processes over 6 billion transactions per day and does 300,000 to 500,000 transactions per second. So if you say, where do you memorialize that on a general ledger on the blockchain? The answer is you can't. Not yet. But we did learn how to scale the internet. We learned how to scale packet switching. We're going to learn how to scale blockchain with low transaction costs. But it's going to take some time, and we're going to have to work really hard together as a community to make all of the dreams that we have become a reality. We have a very interesting playground because we actually license all of our software to the Fortune 5000. And these represent the biggest brands with the biggest audiences on the planet. And what we're going to do is provide a wallet through Funcoin to enable you to get rewarded for providing your personal data and information to companies like this and do it at scale where no one even knows it's crypto or blockchain. It'll feel like rewards. It'll feel like something you're getting a benefit for what you already love and do today. And by doing so, you can then go into a services environment of goods and services, and you can consume what's effectively found money. Because everything we're doing solves the problem of GDPR. You can opt in and opt out with a simple flip of a switch in mobile. You can actually continue that process and actually get even further benefit depending on the type of information you provide. And what we're going to do is enable this functionality inside applications from companies like this, and we'll be able to turn on more crypto wallets than there are Bitcoin wallets in the world overnight. We'll be able to turn on more than in the US all of Coinbase and Gemini have as accounts. And this is going to be very special and is going to change it because we're going to do it with a user interface that looks like we're used to in consumer mobile applications. As I said, it's been way too long since all of us have gotten a chance to control ourselves and our identity. We're going to change that by disintermediating all the people in the middle. Twitter, Google, Facebook, Snap, you name it. Connect our existing customers as a trusted on-ramp to this very unknown new technology, crypto. Just like companies trusted Red Hat to get into open source and Linux. And in conclusion, we are live on CoinList. We went live last week, and we're going to be raising to all the accredited investors. So I can stand up here with a pending registration statement and do this because we're in full compliance, and as long as you're an accredited investor, anyone in the world can participate. So you can either go to CoinList, see me after. We'd love to tell you more. Thank you very much.